Hello everybody, it's Kevin with Inspiring How You See That, and we have Brian, and today we're going to be doing a spotlight, right?
Yep. Yeah, today we're going to talk about a band that we've both seen. I think we've seen together a couple times, and they're fantastic.
A couple times, yeah.
Yeah, and that's Godsmack. And you probably all have heard of Godsmack. I mean, they're kind of legendary at this point. But they've been around since 1995, so now 26 years.
Yeah, it's going quick. It's going quick. I mean, I
old.
remember at the Ozfest when we saw them, and that was. I think that was.
God, that was probably close to 20 years ago.
That was
at this
probably
point.
the first time because that was when Sully jumped out into the crowd with Pantera.
Yep.
Yeah, that was cool. So.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that because seeing them live a couple of times, actually, I remember seeing them when they came here to Erie, and they played at the Civic Center, and that was a fantastic show. And that was the first time seeing them live that I found out that Sully knew how to drum. Because remember that drum set came up out of the stage, and he did a drum solo, and that was cool.
And he actually, I know several years back, was actually had a studio where he would teach a lot of up-and-coming drummers and do different segments. He had also, I believe, he put out a CD or two or something like that with just some drum solos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so Sully's done quite a bit of different stuff.
Absolutely.
Just like everybody we talk about is very talented.
Absolutely. And, we mentioned Sully. He's, of course, the lead singer, Sully Erna. So we'll go ahead. At this point, we'll talk about the other band members. So joining Sully, we've got Tony Rombola on guitar, Robbie Merrill on bass, and Shannon Larkin on drums. And like we mentioned before, they've been around since 1995. They're actually from Massachusetts, so around the Boston area. And their sound is pretty unique. I mean, they're heavy metal, they're hard rock, but they've got their... It's hard to pinpoint them and say that they sound like another band. I mean, who would you think is probably the closest?
I don't... it's hard sometimes in, kind of putting bands with other singers or even other guitar players or drummers, and I think they just have their, like you said, their own distinct sound, and, that's what I like about them.
Absolutely.
And every song that they do too, as well, is it's like one of those albums where you can actually listen to one song and you're like, wait a minute, I like them all.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. And one of the things that I like is through their career, I mean, you could see, not that the old stuff's bad because it's awesome, but you can see a growth and a maturity in their career. I mean, their music it's still Godsmack, but there's more depth. You can see that they've grown, and I love that when you can see that in a band. When they start out awesome and they just get better. I mean, and I think they show that best with their latest album from 2018, which is When Legends Rise. That's an awesome album.
It is. And what they did is they kind of, on that album, they went back to more of their roots when they first started in their sound. Because I know their sound kind of took a turn a little bit. And then I know there was a whole write-up about how Sully was saying, well, I'm going to revert it back to some of our, of course, our old school stuff, and it was by far better than their old school.
Oh, and exactly, and that's what we're saying is, they went back to what made them them, but just on that album alone, I mean, you've got, Unforgettable, which is a great, and When Legends Rise, which, those are songs that you kind of pump you up and, get you ready to go out there, and then there's, Under Your Scars, which is more of a kind of a sadder ballad type. And I think that's where really they shine in. On the same album, they've got different types of songs. And they pull it all off perfectly.
And you can definitely tell, I mean, all the members, when they come onto the stage, that's what's cool about, going and seeing live shows, which we're looking forward to this year in 2021, probably later on. But they all put forth 110%.
Exactly.
And, it makes you want more.
Exactly.
So you're always out there, you're like, okay, what are they going to do next?
Yep.
So it's a great show.
Yep, absolutely. And like we mentioned, the latest album came out in 2018, so they're probably due with, this year, maybe 2022, coming out with a new album. So we're excited to see where that takes them. In addition to, they've had now 7 studio albums. Sully has also released a couple albums just kind of on his own. Doing his own solo work, and those have been phenomenal. I know he's also done work with other artists. I know just recently he teamed up with Stitched Up Heart for their song Lost. And that was awesome. I mean, you can, the video is kind of a live video, him and Mixie singing together, and it's a fantastic song.
Yeah, I really like that song, and I think that's what Sully's kind of gearing up for too. Is they're mixing it with some collaborations, and then they're also probably, in this time, a lot of bands are doing now is they're writing some new stuff and kind of mixing it up with other bands that, they're kind of trying to cross-pollinate, per se, and trying to get out some new stuff. So I think, and probably maybe this year, maybe next year, because they're usually about, every 3-4 years that they put out an album. And we can't wait for that.
Yep.
And can't wait to see that. And, even the collaborations, what would be cool is, to put them together. Those that Sully and the other band members work with, maybe have that tour together.
Yep, absolutely.
And watch them as well. So
yeah. So we're definitely excited for what Godsmack has coming, what Sully might be having coming on his own. The great thing is, even though Sully's doing his own thing, he's 100% still in Godsmack. He hasn't left the band. There's no threats of that. So that's awesome. To see a band stay together, have this kind of longevity, and still going as strong as ever. And so we're excited for what's coming. We love everything that Godsmack has put out. So hopefully, like you said, we could see them again live, because it's a fantastic show. And as always, guys, let us know what bands you want to hear. Let us know what you think of Godsmack, of Sully's album. What do you think of that? Of what he did with Mixie and Stitched Up Heart. And
maybe we could kind of, if you put in the comments below and just let us know. And of course, as always, we always say it, subscribe. And send other possible people that really like our channel,
absolutely,
like
share
this
it with
type
them.
of music, and or they might just be kind of up and comers and trying to produce their own music. Send it over our way. Let us know, and we can kind of talk about it and see. Elaborate on it a little bit.
Because we always love sharing when we find new music. We love sharing it with you guys, and that's probably one of the funnest things with it. So, as always, we love so much when you guys stop and spend this time with us. We're glad that we can get back together again, make some more videos together, and it's just a lot of fun, all of us being together. So until next time, we love you guys. God bless, and rock on.
See you next time.